games begin. It's shootout time. Phil Archer, Phil Golding, Tom Reed, Michael Lowe and Jamie McLean. 5 players, 1 shot, 3 places. It's drama all the way once again. And this young man could really put the cat amongst the pigeons. Euro Pro Tour player Tom Reed, first to go in the shootout. Can he put some pressure on the rest? I'm not sure he likes it, Matt.
I think it's on a good line. I think he's just got that fraction heavy. Just see there, just coming up a little shy.
But you've got to be on the dance floor to be in with a chance of going through. Michael Lowe, next up, another man that shot 3 under today.
Strategy playing on a challenge tour. Would flow to the action. Watching this closely, I fear this is just a tiny bit left.
Oh no, it's not come back. I think that's off the green. Jamie McLean has managed to get to the shootout after missing out by the narrowest of margins last year. This man's got some swing.
Yeah, as we said earlier, powerful looking swing. This will be no more than an 8 iron for Jamie. Watching it up and down. He's just spun back off the slope there. It may cost him.
It's in play, so to speak. Phil Golding then, just 2 more men to go. He should have been straight through to the playoff, but bogey at 18 in regulation means that he's ended up here in the shootout.
He's found his rhythm again. Great looking shot there. Climbs up onto the top level of the green. It's a definite through, I think.
1 man left. The defending champion. Boy, is he scrapped today. Went birdie, 17-18 to get to 3 under. Now he's got to go again. Those are the 3 guys we think are through to the playoff at the moment, with just Archer to go.
Yeah, real strength of Philip Archer's game is his iron play. We saw a stunning shot in regulation. I'd expect to see a carbon copy here.
Oh yes, he's still going. Phil Archer marches on into the playoff, and his title defence is still alive and kicking. Well, subject to confirmation, we think Phil Archer, Phil Golding and Tom Reed are through, which means Jamie McLean and Michael Lowe are going to have to bow out of this year's final. A nervous wait for young Tom Reed as he looks up the green. William Hunt about to confirm who's through. Phil Archer picks his ball up, he's in the playoff. Phil Golding picks his ball up, he's through to the last 4. Both of those joining Neil Rowlands, but who's going to be the last man? It is Tom Reed. Pick your ball up, son. You're in the playoff. All the playoff action coming up after the break. Stay with us on Sky Sports. Welcome back to the fabulous Buckinghamshire Golf Club as we head towards the final showdown on this year's Trilby Tour, the professional playoff final involving these 4 men. Phil Archer, the defending champion, takes on Phil Golding. Neil Rowlands, the man just walking up to the tee now, and the youngster, the underdog, Tom Reed. No one could live with this man though. Neil Rowlands, 4 under, the leader in the clubhouse for most of the day. The rest of them had to come through the shootout. Tom Reed got in as the last man standing to join Phil Golding and the defending champion Phil Archer, hanging on to his title by the skin of his teeth. Right then, let's get to the panel. Richard Simmons and Lee Sharp, joined by Scott Drummond and Steve Cowell.
Thanks, Simon. We're down here at the first playoff hole. And Richard, how do you think Neil will be feeling after shooting 400 and leading the tournament and having to play a 3-hole playoff?
Well, that's the nature of this event, isn't it? You know, you can go out and shoot the score to win the day, but you've still got to go out and then do it again to actually win. But I was actually speaking to Neil a moment ago before the playoff, and he's been in the clubhouse since 1 o'clock this afternoon, so he's had a lot of time to think about this. But he's actually got a very clear strategy in his head. He was telling me that he's, he thinks he's going to go for this par 5 in 2. He's going to lay up on the second of the playoff holes and take his chances. He says he's a pretty good wedge player, and then hopes he's in a good position for the final hole. So I think he's got a pretty clear strategy, and I think he's going to perhaps surprise a few people.
Oh, amazing. And Steve, Tom, young lad, how's he going to feel against the sort of veterans of the team?
Well, he's going to be feeling pretty much like I did in the first year when I won it. So he's going to be nervous. He's stood there in front of a couple of tour players. Neil's obviously experienced, so you just hope he's going to rely on his routine, and he'll be chuffed to bits to be in there.
And Scott, talking about seasoned professionals, Phil Archer, trying for back-to-back championships here, and a back-to-back birdie to get into the final.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fired up. You know, he's birdied the last 2 holes to make the playoff, which was great. 17 short par 4, but 18 was a really good birdie, and I think he also hit it closest to the flag on the other playoff to get in. So I think he's going to be pumped up, and obviously he won it last year. He's going to have some great feelings. So I think my money would be on Phil at the moment.
There we go then, Simon. The serious money's on Phil Archer. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Lee. My goodness, can't wait for this playoff to get underway. But before it does, let's take a look at this first playoff hole with Matt Woods.
Great opening hole for our playoff final. Par 5 measuring 505 yards. Expect to see the guys take this water hazard on with their tee shot. They get it tight up this right hand side, makes the second shot that much easier and brings the green into range. For those who don't hit the ideal tee shot, we'd expect to see the players slightly down the left hand side. They will then have to lay up into this area here to leave themselves their favourite wedge distance. From there, players of this quality would expect to see it inside 15 feet, and I expect to see a few birdies. Or as Warren Bladen did in 2008, we might even see a cheeky eagle.
What way to start the playoff that would be. Pros view this hole so differently to the amateurs. This is a genuine opportunity for them. The tee shot is all important. It's going to be Neil Rowlands, the man that led in the clubhouse all day at 4 under to get things underway. Let's meet the man.
Neil Rowlands, Trilby Tour playoff finalist.
There he is, aka Rowley, Challenge Tour player with over 40 regional titles. Turned professional way back in 1990, so he's had a good long career. And owner of a 1969 Lambretta, and we know what that makes him, a mod. And he's a crazy Spurs fan as well. So the first man to get the Trilby Tour professional final playoff underway is a man who produced some seriously good golf out there today, and he left a few shots out on the course as well. But this is where it counts. Maybe not quite where he wanted it, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah, an unfortunate bounce there, just shooting that off to the left and just kind of finding the edge of that mound.
In play though, as they say, as young Tom Reed steps up. From Challenge Tour player to Euro Pro Tour player, we've got the whole spectrum of our pros on show today in the playoff. And he's got some big names to take on as Tom Reed.
Tom Reed, Trilby Tour playoff finalist.
AKA Rock On, for those of you that remember Cannon and Ball, his first boss called him that. Rock On Tommy, Euro Pro Tour player with not many pro tournaments under his belt, 3 holes in 1. Turned professional back in 2008, so he really is new to the game, as they say. And he's a rugby man, big Harlequins fan, looking to put in the big hits today on Phil Golding, Phil Archer, and his other opponent, Neil Rowlands. What do you know about this young man, Matt?
Yeah, the strength of his game really has been his wedge play. Likes to move the ball about left to right, right to left. But I fear he's lost that way a long way left.
Might be lucky.